Oh, White Claw iced tea, mango iced tea. Not a great first impression. Hold on. Better, but not great. Is this really what the kids are drinking these days? I don't know. Anyway, welcome to tonight's double feature. I'm Paul. And you may have seen by the title of this episode, They're All That we are doing a She's All That franchise, I guess now, double feature. So obviously we're beginning with the, I want to say 1999, but let me double check. Yes, this is a VHS tape. Kicking it old school on tonight's double feature. What year did this come out? I'm going to say 99. Doesn't say on the tape, but I'll show you the tape anyway. And yes, I rewound it. I watched it a couple nights ago to prepare for this review, and we'll just say 1999. She's All That, starring Rachael Leigh Cook, Freddie Prinze Jr., Matthew Lillard, Paul Walker. This cast is absolutely freaking stacked. I could not believe rewatching this how great the cast was. Jodie Lynn O'Keefe, that's who I couldn't remember. Kevin Pollak, Kieran Culkin is in this thing. Usher is in this. Lil Kim is in this. Anna Paquin is in this. It's crazy. Yeah, great cast. You know, if nothing else, great cast. But I actually enjoyed watching this. I remember when it first came out in the late 90s. I enjoyed it. I mean, look, Rachael Leigh Cook is just stupid hot. Like, just ridiculously gorgeous. Not just in this movie, but in, life in general. I don't know why I keep drinking this. Just the iced tea flavor with the mango underneath it is just a weird combination. But yeah, I remember thinking when I first watched this, when it first came out, I remember thinking, who is going to think that Rachael Leigh Cook is unattractive just because she's wearing glasses and likes to paint? You know what I mean? Like the whole premise of this thing is pretty goofy, but whatever. It's a comedy, and it's the thing is, when I went back and rewatched it a couple nights ago, I realized that I remembered it being like this big reveal that she's attractive. But it's really, it's more of like they figure it out pretty quick. Like Freddie Prinze Jr., who plays, the like cool jock, popular prom king and all that stuff. He just had never really paid any attention to her before. It's one of those situations where once you start getting to know someone and you pay attention to them, you're like, oh, not only is this person cool, but they're stupid hot. So it wasn't as bad in that sense that, that they didn't like figure it out until the end that she's hot or anything like it. Happens pretty quickly. And then it's just a matter of Rachael Leigh Cook starts to get popular because she starts, dressing more like this and sort of like fitting in with the Freddie Prinze Jr. crowd, the popular kids and everything. And it kind of goes from there. But it's a fun movie. It's obvious it's not a masterpiece by any means. But if you're into late 90s romantic comedies, I think this is probably one of the more popular ones out there. I know that it was #1 at the box office when it came out, so there's that. And it's a lot of fun. Matthew Lillard is always great in just about anything that he's in. And he plays a character in this who's on the real world. And Jodie Lynn O'Keefe's character gets involved with him after having been involved with Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character, and then Freddie Prinze Jr. gets involved with Rachael Leigh Cook once he figures out that she's stupid hot. But it does have that whole thing of like, oh, look how gorgeous she is now that she's wearing her hair nice and putting makeup on and wearing dresses instead of overalls and stuff like that. So a feminist masterpiece it is not. In fact, I think that her character looks way more attractive for like my taste, when she is got the nerdy thing going on. And I'm willing to bet that a lot of people would agree with me on that, because when you just go into the sort of like, average sort of boring mode, it's whatever. But I would say that if you haven't seen this movie since it first came out, it's worth checking out. I think it actually still holds up fairly well. And that is She's All That. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have as good of things to say about the recent 2021 Netflix remake, is essentially what it is, of She's All That. Let me take another sip here of my White Claw. You talk a lot in these videos, so you need to just stay hydrated. So I'm just going to have to suffer through the White Claw, I guess. Anyway, since I don't own the movie, since it just came out on Netflix, and I doubt that there's any sort of physical release of this thing, normally I hold the movie here. So what I did is I went ahead and downloaded some images from the film onto my tablet so I can show those off a little bit. So He's All That, the 2021 reboot from Netflix that just came out very recently. That's pretty much all you need to say. It stars Addison Rae and Tanner Buchanan right here. That's them. And then it's also got Madison Pettis and Rachael Leigh Cook. Returns, I was about to say reprises her role, which is not the case. She returns to the franchise, but in a different role, which is whatever. She's not in it much. Matthew Lillard is also in the film, also not playing the same character from She's All That. He's like a high school principal, and Rachael Leigh Cook is Addison Rae's mom in the movie. Rachael Leigh Cook, stupid hot in this as well. She hasn't aged a day. She's vegan. I'm assuming that's what it is. I'm a fan, in case you couldn't tell, like in the 90s. I don't know, was there anyone in movies that was more of a, like dream girl for someone like me in my early 20s back then? I don't think so. I really don't think so. You got your Natalie Portman, you got your Claire Danes. Cool, awesome. Love both of them. Rachael Leigh Cook, though, just did it for me, okay? I'm just putting it out there. She just did it for me, and she still does it for me. She's great in this movie. The performance is, she's playing Addison Rae's mom. There's not a whole lot to it, but she's perfectly fine in the role. So if I understand correctly, these two are like TikTok stars in real life. And this whole movie kind of revolves around social media and popularity, like having a big following on social media. They've sort of updated it for the times, I guess you might say, and that's fine. I didn't mind the sort of new angles that they took with the story. It wasn't, it makes sense. It was annoying to watch, like, there's a bunch of text on the screen of live streams and stuff like that. It's very modern, and there were aspects of it that I wasn't crazy about, but whatever. So I downloaded some pictures from the movie just to kind of show off a little bit here what we're working with. So this is the he and he's all that. They gender switched it, so that in the original film, Rachael Leigh Cook is the nerdy character who gets turned into a hottie. Now it's the guy who gets turned into a hottie, right? Makes sense. Here he is fighting the popular kid who was going out with Addison Rae's character. Here's the girls in the film. They're all like popular high school girls, basically. And here they are, like, getting to know each other and riding horses. They have okay chemistry. To be honest, like, I didn't hate this movie. I thought that, like, I had seen a couple reviews and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And I thought that I really was not going to like it. And I mean, I didn't, but it was far from the worst thing I've ever seen. It's essentially a remake. They do actually stick pretty close to the script in terms of, like, the story of She's All That. It's basically the same thing with sort of like a social media update, and then they just gender swap the characters. I'm not going to recommend it. It's not a good movie by any means, but I didn't hate it. Here's the characters. God damn this ring light. Here they are hanging out at Union Station in Los Angeles, which is a fun place to hang out at. And he's like, we got to go to Union Station and hang out. And she's like, what? She didn't even know what it was. He's like, no, it's cool. And I can vouch for that. I've hung out at Union Station. I've got drunk at Union Station before. It's a fun place to hang out. I was at a bar. There's a bar in Union Station. I wasn't wandering around Union Station like some sort of drunk person. But yeah, it's fine. They maybe stick to the original movie a little too much. Like, there's very much some similar lines and stuff like that, which is kind of, I don't know. It didn't bother me. It's just, I guess, obviously I am not the demographic for this movie. They're not too worried about trying to impress me, and that's fine. But it is certainly no She's All That. But there you have it. There's my review of the She's All That / He's All That / They're All That franchise. And this is going to be kind of an interesting thumbnail because, like, what do you do here really with this tablet? Or should I, I'll just do this. Do like that. There we go. Get the ring light out of there. There we go. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.